Hey there, Professor Watanabe. It's Bovee, Marcus Trevor the second here from the beautiful Sunshine State of Florida, bringing it in on Sunday night. It's exciting because I think a little bit about what you talked about in your video about the box office and all that kind of justified itself this weekend with the $90 million that Sony was able to bring in with Venom. Even the Adams Family grosses were not an embarrassment for MGM, and now they've got this another big thing coming out next weekend that is already being predicted to be the biggest Bond gross ever, which is great because our industry needs that. But another week of processing my thoughts and feelings and coming up with some of the labels. As coming from a distribution person, I'm not going to repeat myself with the number of films that I've been a part of the release of, but it's several. And then we took out a film this summer as an independent release for a client based in Houston, and it was interesting because we had to deal with all the fallout and all the collateral from the studios changing their release dates, and we're an independent. We were really well funded, but we wound up being that kind of situation. We made T-shirts and all these things, and we did this tour through Texas with the talent. We had a hashtag Summer of Striker campaign for our movie. I'll put the link in the email to the trailer on Apple Trailers. It was a popcorn picture, and as a veteran, it was an important film to have a strong veteran character in the film. It was a good exercise, but we as an independent had to deal with all of the shifting and changing of the release schedule. So thinking back to this week and processing, thinking about the pitch and the project for If at First, which is actually kind of based on the expression "If at first you don't succeed," thinking about the characters in this kind of veteran centric kind of story. I always think of creative exercises for me as a gazer. I have to watch a lot of things at home, but we have a movie theater here in the villages where we live that has always been very kind. And if I have to review content, they will gladly. They're only open Thursday through Monday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, if I want to go in and take a DCP or take my MacBook Pro and hook it up to their projectors, they will always let me experience something the way the filmmakers intended it. But I also really appreciate and prefer that social experience of film going because I just think that's kind of how we as a nation are wired. And very valid points about Tenet, very valid points about Bill and Ted. I did actually see that at the drive-in last summer with my little brother. And Mulan, I'm kind of a purist. I know exhibitors were back and forth about what do we do with this, Disney Plus stuff. Um, to me, there's just that relationship that has got to put the theater at the beginning of the relationship. And our exercise with Narco Sub, the movie that we took out this summer, the filmmakers had already kind of entered into a Amazon relationship, which kind of compromised what we were doing in the theatrical space. But we were still able to bring in a number of regional outlets in Texas and the South to kind of get us across a finish line that made the filmmakers happy, and then gave us a great platform for CinemaCon at the end of August. So for me to develop a project, I would always want to start with that social experience for the gazers who are going to watch what we create in that sanctuary of cinema, as I like to call it, and then move those downrange opportunities in, and then of course adapt the IP for other viewing occupations and things like that. So that's kind of where my thoughts are as a creative, as a future creative, as a former distribution person, what I want to do in the creative space. I'm also going to attach to this because you mentioned the wonderful Bill and Ted Face the Music. I'm actually going to attach the theatrical grosses for this kind of discrete. So unless it's something you don't need or you don't want, you can always delete it. But I thought I'd just kind of send that to you so you get an idea of where it worked and where it didn't, to help maybe with that. But yes, so again, I hope I'm 5 minutes and 10 seconds, but thank you. Have a great week. I can't wait to see you on Tuesday. I'd like to share maybe with you a campaign we're doing for independent theaters and our Military Monies at the Movies campaign. And also we just put together a little campaign called Sacred Cinema Series with the Hollywood Prayer Network there in LA to do a year-long campaign with movies and conversations about faith and how they kind of come into the 12 films that we programmed. We're going to program with Warner Brothers and Sony and Universal, of course, and Paramount. So anyway, have a great week, and thank you for taking my video.